Welcome to the Faster, Easier, Better show. This podcast is short, fun, and jam-packed with good ideas that you can start using right away.
Welcome to another episode. I'm your co-host, Ellen, along with my co-host.
Let me think about this for a second. So, am I important and urgent, or am I not important? Don't answer that. But answer that.
Okay. There were so many things running through my head.
I bet there were.
Important, not important, urgent, not urgent. Oh, you're an Eisenhower Matrix.
Yes, the Eisenhower Matrix, which people will recognize as the Covey Matrix. Now, let me think. Who came first? Dwight Eisenhower, our 35th president. 34th president. Oh, Stephen Covey. I don't know. I think
not a president.
Not a president, but a good.
Not a president.
You know, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a work of art, and probably be the Smithsonian.
And
one day.
he had adapted the Eisenhower Matrix, but the Eisenhower Matrix, whatever we're going to call it, is a wonderful way to be faster, better at what you're doing. And for those that don't recognize the matrix, it is a 4-square matrix that you have urgent and not urgent on one axis, and then you have important and not important on the other axis. And by looking at these squares, you know whether to do something, schedule it, delegate it, or delete it.
Mm. Two of those means you're not doing anything. Which is,
exactly.
I mean, I guess delegating is an act.
Right.
But I like this because when you really put it through a filter like this, so is this thing, it seems like it's urgent and it's kind of important, but it's not important to me. It's someone else's important. I think that's another way to look at it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the difference between an urgent task, is it urgent for you or is it urgent for someone else? And if it's urgent for someone else, but it's not important to you, then you delete it if you can. Or you do one of the other things, but you don't put it ahead of your important or
urgent.
That's important and urgent.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that you do the important stuff for you first if you can.
And I would think that when it comes to, looking at this, urgent kind of, it's like fire, gets your attention. So some things that maybe, are important but not urgent seem to always get pushed aside because when is there never a fire? Like we run around with our hair on fire all the time. So that's where you have to, make sure you do the things that are urgent and important, but don't neglect the things that are important but not urgent. That's because they don't yell at you. They're not getting your attention. They're not front of mind. They're not time sensitive, but they eventually will become time sensitive if you don't get them done at some point.
Exactly. And again, remembering always that, other people think things are urgent, but they're not. I mean, we've both worked for places where people are like, this has to be done right away. And it's someone else being urgent about it. And it's not your urgency. I get that still.
And I love it when someone says, no, whenever you get to it, or don't worry, there's no deadline or no finish time. I hate that because then it's going to fall into that not urgent but important and get pushed aside. So I will either create my own, some consequence that if I don't get it done by a certain time, so it pushes it into the urgent and important because that's what it really is. But somebody maybe not so it's the reverse. Someone else saying it's not hey, no, don't worry. But you as a professional or whatever feel like I my reputation means I finish what I do what I say I'm going to do and I'm going to get it done. So we have to sort of create the urgency somehow if it's not there.
Absolutely. And again, if we're going at the matrix, if it's not urgent and it's not important, there's no reason to keep it in your sphere of whatever you're doing. Just delete it. Okay, it's not urgent. It's not important. Why do I have to focus on it? And most times you don't. You have to just look at, is that important? I know people are finding it, offices, they have things that when you really look at it, we need a report at the end of each week of what you did. Does anyone look at these? Does it have a meaning? Is it important? Does it have urgency? What happens if I don't do it? Nothing.
Well, didn't you see Office Space? I did. You've never seen that movie?
I did. I love that movie.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that was what that whole thing was about. Looks like you're going to have to spend the weekend doing that report. Yeah. But the point is,
TSP reports.
If most people don't use this kind of a matrix, they're just kind of guessing. Well, but this makes it a little more obvious which things rise to the top of your to-do list,
right.
And like you said, which things can drop off or be done by someone else. And I think that alone helps you to more efficiently plan your day, week, month, year.
Absolutely. And we've included an Eisenhower Matrix in the show notes for you. So you can start applying it to your life right away and make things faster and easier, better for you. I think that's an urgent message right there. The more urgent message is be with us again next week for another episode.